Right, so now we move on to the genetically modified products. I hope you're okay so far. So genetically modified products, genetically modified GM is a special set of technologies that alter the genetic makeup of such living organisms as animals, plants, or bacteria. So we alter the genetics. Combining genes from different organisms is known as recombinant DNA technology, and the resulting organism is said to be genetically modified, genetically engineered, or transgenic. Transgenic bukan transgender lain Okay, and GM products include medicines and vaccines, foods and food ingredients, feeds and fibers, and so on. So in 2006, a total of 252 million acres of transgenic crops were planted in 22 countries by 10.3 million farmers. Countries that grew 97% of the global transgenic crops were the United States, Argentina, Brazil, Canada, India, China, Paraguay, and South Africa. Technologies for genetically modifying food offer dramatic promise for meeting some areas of greatest challenge for the 21st century. Like all new technologies, they also poses some risk, both known and unknown. Okay, so now let's see this example. So in here, we see that the BT gene is inserted into corn expression cassette, and then vector with transgene is multiplied in bacteria, foreign genes inserted into the corn cell genome, and then we have the GM corn. So what does this do? So BT toxins present in peanut leaves, bottom image, protect it from extensive damage caused by European pest. So by inserting these genes, it can help the corn to grow more, to be more resistant. And then there's also the production of sweet rice, in which they have generated novel APU containing rice seeds with 3 unique features, which has the complete starch autohydrolysis within a few hours of incubation, can be processed efficiently and cost-effectively for simultaneous production of protein-enriched flour and sugar syrup for human consumption and broad industrial uses, and for reduction, it has reduction in amylose contents without having a significant impact on grain yield. So these are all genetically modified. And then we have the glowfish, which is a genetically modified form of the zebrafish. So this fish can glow. It increases the so this is for hobbies lah kot untuk sesiapa yang collect this fish. Maybe it can glow in the dark, or maybe it doesn't need to be dark to glow, but yeah, so this can be done. And then there are also a few issues represented by these comics. So they're not allowed to label all GM products, but they're giving this out at the door. So they give the guidelines on safety, on food safety standards. Yeah, but usually the crops are not labeled as genetically modified, but some do. So we don't really have a clear legislation on this, whether or not they're supposed to label these GM products, and certain countries might have different regulations. How about us? Do you see any products that is labeled as genetically modified organism? Would you still want to buy it if it is labeled as such? And then there are also the issues of who owns this technology and the cost of it. So, as shown by this comic, this is a mine, give me your money, but that's not fair to the farmers. Yeah. Then there's also this comic of a girl with, I don't know what that is. That's not a penguin, but I don't know what that is. Okay, so what is genetic engineering? Well, quite simply, it's making something with genes. So why do we do it? Does it help people? Well, scientists say they can make plants grow bigger or faster to make more for people to eat. Isn't that good then? Well, the trouble is that we don't know if it is good for people yet. It may harm them, and lots of people want to. You cannot see this. So we actually don't know yet whether it is good or not for people. What are the benefits of this new genetics? For crops, it can enhance taste and quality. It can reduce maturation time, meaning dia lambat sikit rosak. It can increase nutrients, yields, and stress tolerance. It can improve resistance to disease, pests, and herbicides. And we can produce new products and growing techniques. How about animals? So for animals, it can increase resistance, productivity, hardiness, and efficiency. We can have better yields of meat, eggs, and milk, and improved animal health and diagnostic methods. Benefits for the environment. We can have friendly bioherbicides and bioinsecticides, which does not harm human. We can have conservation of soil, water, and energy. And bioprocessing for forestry products. Also better natural waste management and more efficient processing. As for the society, we can have increased food security for growing population. However, of course, there are some controversies as well. As for the safety, it could have potential human health impact from allergens, transfer of antibiotic resistance markers, and some unknown effects. It can also have potential environmental impact, unintended transfer of transgene through cross-pollination, unknown effects on other organisms, and loss of flora and fauna biodiversity. And then again, there's the controversies regarding access and intellectual property, domination of world food production by a few countries, and increasing dependence on industrialized nation from the developing countries. So developed countries might have to depend on industrialized nation. And there's also the controversy of biopiracy. How about ethics then? So we can argue that there is a violation of natural organisms' intrinsic values, tampering with nature by mixing genes among species, objections to consuming animal genes in plants and vice versa. We can also argue that it is stressful for the animal, As for labeling, like I said before, so labeling of genetically modified organisms is not mandatory in some countries. Mixing GM crops with non-GM compounds, labeling. As for the society, new advances may be skewed to interests of rich nation.